Tonight I begin a series called Changing the Odds. The more you know about high blood pressure, the less likely you'll be to wind up a statistic yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Pressure's certainly high enough. 210s and stuff. They didn't get the stuff.
This man has just had a stroke. Something has violently interrupted the normal flow of his blood, the pumping of one of the thousands of beats of his heart, and he may not have known anything was wrong until just a few minutes ago.
How you doing here?
It's known as the silent killer primarily because there are minimal symptoms that show up with high blood pressure until something does go wrong, until they do have to go to a hospital or they're seen where they may have their blood pressure checked or screened.
The only way to catch high blood pressure before irreparable damage is done is to check it. You've probably had this test performed before, but did you realize how important it is to keep track of the results and know what they mean?
Your blood pressure is 145 over 101.
The first number represents the force when your heart contracts. The second, when the heart relaxes.
Blood pressure is the force exerted by your blood on the walls of your arteries. Now think of this faucet as your heart. The tubing is an artery, and the holes in the nozzle as tiny blood vessels. If those vessels are unobstructed, your blood flows clearly. But if there is any kind of blockage or obstruction, it causes pressure to build up, and it puts a strain on your heart.
Depending on what is blocked and where the pressure is building, high blood pressure can damage your heart, your kidneys, or your brain. Paul Smith is 42. He learned about his high blood pressure 15 years ago.
They told me I'd gotten to the point where I should not water ski anymore. I should not carry a heavy briefcase or a suitcase. I don't know. I may not have lived until now. I don't know.
Paul did live because he took his doctor's advice and learned to control his pressure, and you can do the same. If you have high blood pressure, two things will invariably help raise it higher: smoking, which makes your heart beat faster, and the use of salt, which increases the volume of your blood. Two things will help lower it: exercise, which keeps your heart in shape, and weight loss, which reduces the load your heart has to carry. If all this sounds like too much trouble, you've never seen what price you'll pay down the road.
We're going to place the third of 3 bypass grafts onto this artery.
And coming up tomorrow night, we'll take a look at the ravages of high blood pressure through the eyes of people who waited a little too long to learn about the disease. That's coming up in part 2 of